The True Story of Beowulf by Ashley McManus. Once upon a time, a young monster laid in his crib as his mother softly sung him a song. The baby monster slowly started to drift off to sleep until a loud crash stirred the whole cave. The baby monster wailed until a huge monster came through a large opening in their home cave. "What's that noise?" the monster's voice rumbled. "I believe it's a party above in the town," the mother replied soothingly. "Woke up little baby Grendel." The mother went back to rocking the baby as the father went above the earth to see what was waking his newborn son. He never returned. 3 days later, Grendel's dad never comes home. Grendel's mom, overstruck with grief, promises fatherless Grendel that she'll always protect him from the humans, no matter what. Grendel grew up never knowing his father, only the sweet sing-song voice of his mother before bed and her strict demeanor when he mentioned going outside. As he grew up, he learned not to complain due to the teary-eyed look on his mom's face when he asked to play with the human kids. One day, a bit after Grendel's 10th birthday, he finds his mom sleeping in the cave's main room. "This is my chance," he says to himself as he steps towards the cave's entrance. "I need to know what's out there." He grabs his favorite toy and heads outside. He stumbles on a clearing where he meets human kids, but when he tries to play with them, they call him names and take his toy from him. Grendel comes home crying and wakes his mother. "I'm sorry for going outside, Mother. You were right," he sobs. Grendel's mom just breathes a sigh of relief and rocks her son in her arms. It has been 10 years since Grendel got bullied by the human children, but he hasn't forgotten about it. He remembered it like it was yesterday. Grendel believes it is time for a change. "Mom, I think it's time for me to move out," he says to his mother. His mother agrees as long as he promises to be careful, because she won't be able to protect him anymore. They go out to look for a cave just as homey as the one that Grendel has spent 20 years of his life in. They eventually find a deep cave directly under the city. "I love it," Grendel says excitedly, and he moves in the same day. As Grendel falls asleep in his cave but gets woken abruptly by male laughter and loud violins, he makes his way out of his cave and into the partying town and stumbles into some sort of building he can't make out. Grendel sees many humans and gets startled. He lets out a scared roar and throws out his claw accidentally, instantly killing almost all of the humans. But one human gets away and screaming, "Monster! Monster!" Grendel goes back home, upset about one human calling him a monster when it was only an accident. After word got out that Grendel killed multiple men, Grendel was furious. He never thought humans could be so unforgiving for mistakes. So every night after, Grendel killed any human he could find. He killed men, women, and children out of spite, not only because of the humans not forgiving him, but because of a 10-year-old Grendel who got his toy taken away when he was just trying to make friends. Cruel little humans. One day, as Grendel is sleeping in his cave, he is woken by more laughing, dancing, and loud music. He stumbles into the thing the humans called the mead hall and killed the first guy he saw. Then a man known as Beowulf jumped up and started attacking him. Grendel is shocked. The man looked so familiar. "This is the boy that stole my toy." As Grendel is replaying the memory in his head, Beowulf rips off Grendel's arm. Grendel screams in agony and runs to his mother's cave. Grendel's mother is sweeping the floor as her son's bloody body enters the cave. "Grendel!" she screams, dropping the broom. "I'm so sorry, Mother," he sobs. "I shouldn't have went near them again." Grendel's mom holds her dying son in her lap as she makes another promise to him. The promise of revenge for her husband and the promise of revenge for her son, bleeding out on the cave floor. Grendel's mother goes up to the surface and locates the best friend of the king. "This is for my husband," she says as she kills her husband's murderer. She didn't know who killed her husband, but she did know that she was going to make the king pay for his crimes. She just didn't know who killed Grendel. So she made the journey back to the cave, but on her way back, she heard people shouting, "Beowulf! Beowulf!" It must have been him, she thought. "They are celebrating my son's death." Grendel's mom didn't have to go to Beowulf. He came right to her door. "You will go back to hell with Grendel," Beowulf said boisterously. "How ignorant you humans are," she said, her heart stinging at the name of her dead son. Grendel's mom fought bravely, but it wasn't enough. Soon Beowulf figured out that he had to use a sword to kill her, and she fell to her knees in the very same cave where she raised her son. She looked to her left where her son's body still lay and was almost grateful that she would be able to see him and her husband again. Her one regret was that Beowulf still lived. The end.